Hold on to your hats, folks, because the stock market just went on a roller coaster ride wilder than a donkey trying to outrun a firework. When news broke about Trump's latest tariff tango, the Dow Jones surged over 2,900 points. It was like watching a chimpanzee on a triple espresso trying to play the stock market. But just when you thought the market was about to blast off to the moon, reality set in and those gains started disappearing faster than dignity at a political fundraiser. Why the initial euphoria, you ask? Well, some folks on Wall Street seem to think tariffs are like spicy food. The hotter, the better. They figured a 90-day delay on some tariffs meant the trade war was cooling down, but they forgot one crucial thing. Trump doesn't do cooling down. He's more of a throw gasoline on the fire and dance around it kind of guy. And that's exactly what he did by slapping a 125% tariff on Chinese imports. Now, the market's left wondering if this is the beginning of a beautiful bull market or the first act of a global economic meltdown. Stay tuned, folks, because this show's just getting started. All right, let's break down this tariff mess like we're explaining it to a golden retriever wearing a monocle. First, the basics tariffs are basically taxes on imported goods. Think of them like a cover charge for products trying to cross the US border. Trump's been slapping these tariffs on Chinese goods for a while now, and China's been retaliating with their own tariffs on US products. It's a classic game of economic chicken, except the stakes are higher than a giraffe on stilts trying to dunk a basketball. So what's changed? Well, Trump just raised the tariffs on Chinese goods to a whopping 125%. That means if you're a Chinese company trying to sell something in the US, you're going to get hit with a tax bill bigger than Kanye West's ego. Now, here's where it gets really weird. Trump also announced a 90-day pause on some reciprocal tariffs, but only for countries that aren't China. It's like throwing a birthday party and only inviting everyone except your arch nemesis. The bottom line is this. The trade war is still on, and it just got a whole lot more complicated. Remember that butterfly effect thing? You know, where a butterfly flaps its wings in Brazil and somehow causes a hurricane in Florida? Well, Trump's tariff tantrum is like a pterodactyl doing the Macarena in the middle of a china shop. The ripple effects of this trade war are being felt all over the globe. The EU, caught in the crossfire, is scrambling for cover like a bunch of pigeons trying to avoid a hailstorm. They're talking about countermeasures and new trade partnerships, basically trying to build a life raft while the global economy starts taking on water. And it's not just the big players feeling the heat. Countries from Turkey to South Korea to Canada are all starting to sweat like a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs. The global economy is interconnected, folks. When the US and China, the world's two biggest economies, start throwing punches, everyone gets caught in the crossfire. Okay, here's where things get real for all of you lovely people sitting at home in your sweatpants scrolling through this essay. Remember those cheap Chinese-made goods you love so much? Yeah, those are about to get a whole lot more expensive. We're talking everything from smartphones and laptops to clothes and toys. And don't even get me started on pharmaceuticals. Trump's new tariffs are going to hit the pharmaceutical industry like a runaway shopping cart full of bowling balls. Get ready for drug shortages and price hikes that'll make your eyes water more than watching a Hallmark movie marathon. And if you thought finding toilet paper during the pandemic was tough, just wait till you see the lines at the pharmacy when people can't get their life-saving medications. Amazon, always the first to sniff out a profit margin, has already started cancelling orders for Chinese products like it's their job. They know a sinking ship when they see one, and they're not about to go down with the SS trade war. This trade war isn't just about tariffs and economics. It's about something much bigger, global power. It's like watching a high-stakes game of Risk. Except instead of plastic armies, we're talking about real countries and real economies. China's not backing down without a fight. They've already slapped retaliatory tariffs on US goods, and they're busy forging new alliances and strengthening old ones. Think of it like they're assembling a supervillain team to take on the US in a global game of economic capture the flag. Meanwhile, the US is trying to rally its own allies, but it's proving to be about as effective as trying to herd cats on roller skates. Nobody wants to get caught in the middle of this economic brawl, and many countries are starting to question whether the US is still a reliable partner. The world is fracturing, folks. And it's anybody's guess what the new world order will look like when the dust settles. From trade wars to tech wars, Huawei's fight for survival. This trade war isn't just about soybeans and steel, folks. It's about something far more important in the 21st century technology. And at the heart of this tech war is Huawei, the Chinese tech giant that's become a global leader in 5G technology and a symbol of China's growing technological prowess. The US has been trying to kneecap Huawei for years, accusing them of being a security threat and slapping them with sanctions designed to cripple their business. It's like trying to win a marathon by tripping your opponent. It might be effective in the short term, but it's not exactly sporting. But here's the thing. Huawei isn't going down without a fight. Despite the US sanctions, they're continuing to innovate and develop cutting-edge technology. They're like the Terminator of tech companies. You can try to stop them, but they'll just keep coming back stronger. The battle for technological dominance is raging, and the outcome will have profound implications for the future of the global economy and the balance of power in the world. The looming spectre, military escalation and global instability. Here's the scary part, folks. This whole trade war thing could easily spiral out of control and escalate into something far more dangerous. We're talking about military conflict, folks. NATO, the big kid on the playground when it comes to military alliances, is already sounding the alarm about China's growing military might. And let's be honest, when NATO starts getting nervous, it's time for everyone to start paying attention. The South China Sea, a potential flashpoint for conflict, is already a powder keg of competing territorial claims and military posturing. It's like watching a bunch of toddlers fight over a juice box, except these toddlers have warships and nuclear weapons. Nobody wants a war, but sometimes all it takes is one miscalculation, one accident, one moment of misjudgment, and things can spiral out of control faster than a hamster on a wheel. Can anyone stop this train? The search for a solution. So is there any hope for a peaceful resolution to this trade war? Can anyone stop this runaway train before it crashes and burns, taking the global economy down with it? The short answer is maybe, but it's going to take a lot of diplomacy, compromise, and probably a healthy dose of luck. Think of it like trying to get a room full of hungover pandas to agree on a dinner menu. It's not going to be easy. The US and China need to find a way to de-escalate the situation and start talking to each other like rational adults instead of squabbling children. They need to address each other's concerns, find common ground, and work towards a mutually beneficial solution. But let's be real, folks, with Trump at the helm, who knows what's going to happen? He's about as predictable as a squirrel on a sugar rush, and his impulsiveness could easily derail any attempts at diplomacy. The future of the global order, a world on edge. So what does the future hold for the global order? Will we see a return to cooperation and multilateralism, or are we headed for a future of increased competition, conflict, and uncertainty? Honestly, folks, it's too early to say. The world is at a crossroads, and the path we choose to take will have profound consequences for generations to come. One thing's for sure, the old world order, with the US as the undisputed hegemon, is gone. The rise of China, the resurgence of Russia, and the growing assertiveness of other regional powers have created a more multipolar world, one where power is more diffuse and no single country can dictate the rules of the game. This new world order presents both challenges and opportunities. It's a world where cooperation will be more important than ever, but also where conflict will be more likely. It's a world where the old rules no longer apply and where the future is unwritten. Buckle up, folks, because it's going to be a bumpy ride.